Hey designers, what's going on? Erica here. We have week one assignment demo. I just wanted to let you know some of the ins and outs of this assignment and hopefully be able to answer any questions that you may have for your menu design. So this is part one, guys. All we are worried about is the cover, okay? We're not going to be doing the inside until next week. So what this is really focusing on just the front of your menus. So what you want to be able to do is pick which one you want. So we have the three here, Japanese restaurants, Maxwell's, Fine Dining, and Starlight Bistro. Each one's a little bit different, and each one has a different set of assets that come with it. So below you can see your different choices. So choice one is Maxwell's. It has all the information there, and within the files themselves that you will download here by clicking, you will have your logo in there and some images and so forth. And then the other choice is the Starlight Bistro. Information's there. Download your assets and your files there, obviously. And then our third choice. And also, you are welcome to pick a fourth one, but I need you to email me and discuss it with me beforehand if you want to make a different business. But you are more than welcome to. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to do a quick example of Maxwell's, okay? So, of course, I want to download the files, which I already did, and go over into InDesign. But first, you know what I suggest doing is actually going and getting a little bit of inspiration from other people online that have already done this before, that have already designed menu covers. So whether you want to go out into the world and get your inspiration, or if you want to look online and get your inspiration, I recommend Behance is a great one for you to get some ideas from. Being new designers, or even old designers as myself, I always look and continue to look at how design is changing and what I like and dislike, and just, inspiration overall. So I just typed in and looked at all of these different ways that other people have designed nice looking menu covers and so forth. So I want to encourage you to go and take a look and find something that really speaks to you, a style that you may like, and just kind of do a little bit of research before just diving straight in and deciding what you want to design. So let's jump into InDesign, because that's what this class is all about. I do want to see you using some of your skills in Photoshop and Illustrator by creating other graphics and finding images and so forth and bringing them in. And these Adobe products, you are going to be kind of jumping between all of them. And since you already have some skill set in the other applications, it would be great for you to apply them to your projects in this class, because InDesign is really just kind of pulling all of those things together. So I've already downloaded my files, and we're in InDesign now, so I'm going to click New. Of course, we want to make sure that we always go back and look at our actual file itself and what is being required of us, right? So I'm always wanting to make sure that I come back to my assignment and say, okay, what is required? InDesign file, it needs to be 8.5 by 11. So I'm going to start off with that. And so on the side here, you have to change your units to inches. Okay, and it's already set at 8.5 by 11. We want it to be portrait, not horizontal. Make sure that you do not have your facing pages turned on, okay? We want that turned off. And back again to the assignment. Let me get these things out of the way. Hopefully you don't have to see those. Back to the assignment page, we want to, again, double check our size. Number of pages is going to be 2. So come back here. We're going to do 2 pages. And again, always checking for our other sizes. I need to move this over a little bit so I can see it. So our margins are going to be 0.375. The margins, again, are what is around the outside of your file, around the outside edges, 0.375. And we want that for all of the margins, okay? And it already added to all of them. And then again, we need to be concerned with the bleed. And the bleed is what is the area that allows extension of the margins. So we want that to be 0.125. So in our margins, not margins, down here, drop down the bleed. And that's what was it again? I'm so bad with remembering. 175? I think it was 157? Oh my gosh. 125, dirt. I'm not good with numbers. Awesome. Okay, so all those change. And again, just double check your width and height, 11, page 2, not facing, and we're in inches, and we're going to go ahead and click create. And it sets up our pages for us. And there's the 2 pages. To be able to zoom in and out like that, I'm holding Command or Control, depending on what you're on, plus and minus. I use this guy a lot for a shortcut. And holding the space bar allows me to move my area around also. So I usually like to center up the piece here. With InDesign, we are going to be using frames. And frames are the parts that allow you to lay out your page and what you put your content in. On the side here, you have your regular frame. So this is going to be the front, and I'm going to add in the logo. And to do this, I'm just going to drop in, I'm going to say I want the logo up here. So through here, I placed my frame. And what I need to do next is place something in it. So File, Place. Also Command D if you prefer using shortcuts. So it pops up and say, hey, what do you want to put in this space, this frame, this layout item that you've put onto the page? And I want to put in the logo. So I need to go down to where I downloaded the Maxwell files. And in here, you have all of your assets that come with it. So we're going to add in the logo. And you can put in the AI file. Remember, the AI file is Illustrator, and you can easily bring in stuff from Illustrator and Photoshop into InDesign. And when you update it, automatically updates. So I'm going to shape this out, pull the frame, and I want you to remember that the frames have 2 different pieces. You have the image within the frame that you can move around, and then you also have the frame itself that you can move around and put in different places. So again, there's 2 different pieces. You have the actual logo on the image on the inside of your frame and what is on the outside of your frame. Now, one thing that always tripped me up in the very beginning is, how do I get this thing to like lay out perfectly right in the middle? That's this little guy up here, okay? Where did it go? Geez. You want to, you can also, so here it is, the fill frame, or here where it's the fit content proportionally into the frame. And then you also have some other ones that will fit to content frame. You never want to stretch images. No, 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 no. If you guys stretch your images, I'm going to flag you, and you never really want to do this, okay? Don't mess with somebody's logo by stretching it. We want to make sure that we keep it the right size. So again, if I want to say I want this logo to be on, I'm going to move my frame, try to stay within your margins. The purple line's your margins, your red is your bleed. So I'll say I want the logo to be this big up on the very top, really nice and bold. So I'll put that up there. I'm gonna, and then put it to the width size. Awesome. So I want to add some other elements to this. And elements, when I say elements, I'm going to explain this more in the lecture. Hopefully you are very familiar with the elements of art and design. Things such as text and color and texture, did I say texture? Line, point is another one as well. And these are the pieces that you want to add to your work to apply the actual the principles of design, which are the contrast, repetition, alignment, and proximity. So when I add in some squares, I'm going to do something big, going all the way onto the edge, all the way bleed off the page. I'm going to fill this guy. I'm feeling that gold is like a real nice, rich, sort of luxurious color. And drop that in. And then of course, I don't want that to cover the logo, so I need to drop that guy to the back, send to back. And I want to add in some lines, which is another element of art. So I'm going to add in some lines, maybe some sort of things to the side here. And of course, you can use your tools to make that larger, smaller. Where is my strokes? Right here? Pop my strokes out. I'm going to get that guy bigger. And I'm going to make it, I like that grayish sort of tone that is in the logo itself. So I'm going to try to capture that gray color and have that be my line color. So line color down here. I want it to be a grayish, maybe more of a goldish color. What do you think? Pop in a new color. Let me get my color picker. I want, okay. And I'm going to send that to the back as well. Not really liking that so much, so I want it to be gray. So here's my color swatch. All right, so another thing, I could just spend some time adding more and more lines. I'm not liking that. I'm going to get rid of that. And say I want to add another several lines kind of underneath here and add a few of those to add some repetition and add some more interest to the page itself. How many did I add on here? Let's see. All right, I don't want that selected, so I'll just get rid of those guys. And I will choose these, and I want to align. I am a huge component of aligning things and having things symmetrical and portioned. For me, it's just, it's very easy on the eyes if things are aligned up properly. So I usually like to make sure that I have all of my lines transform. We don't want to transform it. So I'm going to go ahead and group these together because when I move them, I want to move them all together. And then you also want to, I'm just going to make them all larger and go across the page. So I don't want to spend too much time actually showing you. I want to make sure that this is a quick sort of demo for you to be able to do your work on your own. And what else does the front of the menu need to have? Let's go back to our directions and make sure that we have it. So we did this, check, 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 turned off pages, check. The initial default, make sure that you have changed your preferences before you create your own document. We did this by changing our actual file when we first set it up. But let me show you because it says that I need to show you there. So in your preferences, go to your units and increments. And then here you can set your items here throughout interface type. Yes. So we want to make sure that it's inches, okay? And inches up here as well. So I believe your default is at picas. You want to change it to inches, okay? And that's what that little note there is indicating. Also, you must use the logo and the tagline from the chosen restaurant. So that's the next thing that I need to make sure that I do. I chose Maxwell, and your Maxwell is Maxwell's Fine Dining, and the truly emphasis what fine dining means. And through here, we want to add in the additional information that's on the assets. So let's open up our assets again and see what is in there, because I believe your text will be in here. There it is. All right, so Maxwell cover text, it's in a doc, Word doc. We need to open that guy up. And this is what you must have on the cover for your assignment. So we need to have the logo, done. We need to have fine steak and seafood on the cover. So I'm just going to copy these things in just so I have them and they're there and I can make sure that I don't forget them. Trust me, you don't want to forget any of these pieces and make a simple mistake of leaving them out. Your client will not be very happy with you if you forget to add these things in. So I want to show you, I'm on the text tool now, and through here I'm going to click and drag and make a box the size that I want to add my text in. So I'm just going to, right now, keep it off to the side. I know what it is, and I want to make sure that I include each piece. So I'm going to start off with the fine dining, and I'm going to add in another box. And if you see, the cursor changes to a circle, and that means it wants me to put it into this frame, this item. And when you are off, so for example, is say I'm going to lay out my frames and my layout for this cover. So I'm just going to come in and again, grab my frame tool. I think I'm going to put the fine dining steak here. And I'm going to add, what is it, the address. I think I want to put the address down here really small because that's not really all that important, right? And the phone number, I'm going to put the phone number with the address. Now the dates in closing, I think I'm going to add in a new cool shape that kind of maybe replicates that, and that can be where I put in the days and times that they are open. So I have this one here that I'm just going to click in and copy and paste my name, right? So of course I'm going to go to my character swatches, character styles. Actually, I'm going to move it up here. I'm going to pick a cool font. I'm going to post some places for you to be able to download some fonts, guys, because fonts are going to make your pieces stand out and be more appealing to the artwork that you're doing. So if is too large, you get this little red box. Have you guys seen that before? That means that there's something in there, but you can't see it. So you're going to need to make your frame bigger or the items in your frame smaller. So I'm going to take that down. And I'm not loving that color. That green is not making me very hungry. So I'm going to add a different color to it. And let's see, what other, we will get into the different colors and your swatches in another class, but I'm going to, there's your swatches here. Let's close that and get to All right, so I want this a different color. Ooh, this thing keeps getting in my way. Let's through here. I like contrasting colors, so with that yellow, I think I'm going to go with more of an orange, maybe up and through here. I'm feeling like it should be something warm and inviting. I think that font is not going to fly with me, so I want something a little bit more elegant because this is a fine dining type of thing. And let me add in my other pieces so I can start moving and the layout around a little bit. So here's the text. I'm just going to copy that and drop it into this one here. And then, of course, this last one, I'm going to add it to this one. All right. So page layout, guys, you are now going to work with these pieces and lay them out in different ways. This assignment does require you to make 2 different menu covers, and they should be very different. And when I say different, it means, you want to not kind of have the exact same layout of where you put the pieces. And what I mean by that is that I don't want to see you put this in the exact same place on both pages. So if you put it down on the lower left-hand corner, I think you should add some, make it very different on the other one and maybe move it to the right, or maybe have it centered in the very bottom, or just making the actual layout of it differently. So again, I'm just going to add these other pieces in, and then we don't need this frame over here. I'm all done with that. And I'm going to do something cool with this and kind of space it out. I want that all on one line, so I'm going to take that up. Oh, I lost my A. Don't make sure you don't make that mistake and accidentally lose a letter because you are so spacing it out. And so let's add that down, maybe somewhere towards the bottom. Moving the frame around a bit. That's way too small to read. And the font's not very much fun, is it? It's really default. I recommend using 2 fonts on covers or posters. It's kind of a rule of thumb with designers. You kind of don't want to use too many fonts. It can really make the eye too busy and hard to read. And so you really want to try to stick with certain fonts, at least 2 different fonts. I'm going to try to find something that kind of looks like the Maxwell, the way that they wrote that with the serif. And I think I knew that font. Where is it? It's like all capitals. Oh, I forget the name. I can never remember names of fonts. The problem is having too many too. All right, this one, let's just go with this for now. Okay. And make that larger, bumping it up and down. Another rule of thumb, guys, is to stay away from edges. You never want your stuff to go too close to the edge. You usually want to stay within your margins. And if you can see there, that 5 down is kind of bumping out a bit, so you don't want to have your edges. I will definitely let you know if your stuff is too close to the edges. So I'm going to put that down there. And then this guy, let's add some color to this and add some maybe something like that. And of course, we can even change the shape out. And that blue's not going to do it for me. What about for you? No. I just kind of want to use a gray, right? Or maybe even like a darker sort of yellow that they're in. Okay. And putting that here. I'm not liking that so much, so I think I'm going to move this guy here. And let's do something fun with this and take the edges and twist it out. And maybe put it along that line. Obviously, you want to stay on the line. Got to get that mouse just in the right spot. All right, and then make that guy bigger. Okay. And he works better down there. Okay, and I will add that address. You will put it up here. Any way you want to do it, guys. And also maybe even adding an image as well. You would do that kind of the same way that you did the others. I think it kind of needs something here. And so I first put the frame in and then go to place because you want to place something in there. So I'm going to go to the Maxwell file and maybe drop a big steak on the front. So again, it's blowing it up, and you certainly don't want any images that are pixelated. So I would not recommend anything with pixelation. So I'm going to move this around a little bit. Remember, there's two pieces. There's the frame itself that you can move around, and then there's the actual image itself as well. So I'm going to drop that steak there because it looks so delicious, making me hungry. I'm going to bring this guy to the front. To make that come up, I just did a right click or control click, depending on which one you are. Send that guy, this one to the front, bring to the front. And since the hours aren't that important, I'm going to make that a little bit smaller. And maybe make this as well long, go all the way across. But of course, with alignment, there's a little bit too much going on with the lines. So you always want to consider the different reasons for what you're doing. Okay, everything needs to kind of have a reason and a purpose behind it. So right now I don't want to take away from the stakes, so I'm going to move this text and bump it over to the align right. And that's in your character styles. You know, I still lose where things are too because Adobe's constantly updating and adding new things, and it's not always in the same spot. So now I have the text selected. And here it is up here. I'm going to right align that. And then I want to make sure that I have some spacing around that as well. I'm not liking the color behind it, so you know what? I'm going to just take it all out. I'm going to take the line out too. I don't want any color at all, and I'm going to make it a little bit bigger and drop it down in that corner. Try not to get too close to the edges, and there we go. So if you want to kind of see what it looks like, there's just a basic layout of the front of it. This is driving me nuts because this is not straight. Boom. Okay. I even think that would work better larger too. So let's move that up. And something like that. What do you guys think? I'm not going to get too involved in adding those because I want to move on and show you guys how to export, because it's with this print work, it's really all about how you export it out, guys. So just to remind you again, because I really hate taking off points for not following directions. I want to make sure that you guys are going back to the directions and reading them again. So we have, we used the logo and the tagline, and we created a menu cover layout. You may add colors or patterned backgrounds. That's a great thing to add some texture in the background. Utilize photos provided, plus add lines or shapes or to your design. And it could be as simple or as complex as you think a restaurant may want, okay? And so also, page 2, you're going to create a second version of your cover, okay? Consider trying different backgrounds and experimenting with different opacities and colors and type of combinations. So I really like to see you guys making this one much different than this one, okay? And I don't mean different by just changing the font and the color. I would like to see you kind of doing a whole new layout. And yeah, you can even use some of these same elements. So, but if you are really set on having that stake, I mean, I'm not going to take you off for doing that, but I'd like you to see you kind of use the elements in different ways and laying them out differently. Maybe this should be like this, and Maxwell's going to come down here, and then we have the stake over here, and you put the hours up here and align them to the left. So hopefully that makes a little bit sense. You know, it's just kind of using, you don't have to use, I would love to see you use all new things, but just to give you an idea, I don't want to see the exact same thing just by changing colors. I want to see you guys really use your creativity and apply different types of alignments and different types of concepts of how to actually have your layouts, okay? So this is kind of more of a modernist sort of approach, wherever, just to give you an example. So again, I really like to see them very different. And remember to check your work. So whatever you start with here, you are going to carry on into weeks 2 assignment. So the same sort of look and feel that you give these is going to be the same sort of look and feel that you're going to give on the inside of your menu. Okay, so we'll talk about that next week, but I just want to remember some of these elements that you're using, you're going to use them next week to create the inside. It's only about the cover this week, okay? If you copy the layout from the example, your creativity score will go down in the rubric. So please don't copy what is there already. I really want you to start strengthening your design muscles and becoming stronger as designers. And that means trying new things and doing something different and really challenging yourself. And I could go on and on, but I'm not going to go on and on about that. But I want to encourage you to do some really amazing stuff, guys. And I will certainly help you to go in that creative direction. But again, the rubrics are down here on what you're going to be graded on. So, you know, make sure that you meet these different things down here in the rubrics, and you can read all those, and that's kind of what I'll be grading you on. Also, package your file when you are finished. So you must package this way, guys, okay? Because you need to include all these images and fonts and high-res PDF, okay? And then you zip the package folder and name it this, and then you turn in the zip file. So let me show you how to do that. Exporting out is a big part of InDesign, and when you send it off to your printers and things, they're going to require all different types of special things for you to be able to export out to print, and they are millions of different options. So I don't want to overwhelm you with all the different things here, but I just need to explain how to obviously do your first assignment in InDesign. And let's go to File and well, you know what I didn't do first? Oh my gosh, rule number 1, I didn't save it. I would have been so sad if I lost it. Oh. All right, so this is week 1 assignment, DES109. Silly me. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't do that first. All right, so we are going to go to export and print PDF and save. Okay, so here you're going to get your export PDF options here, okay? So your general, again, I'm gonna keep this really simple because this is all of the options that you will go into more detail as you further in your career, but I don't want you to get too confused. And these are all the different settings for your PDFs. So we want to make sure here that right now we're just going to optimize for the fastest view. You have all your pages checked, and excuse me, we want to also, there's the compression. If your file is too large and it's not loading very well, but these are the areas that you can bring down the compression in it. But so through here, we're going to export out and just simply keeping it there and export. And let me pull it up. Where's my... I don't remember where I saved it, sorry. Yeah, there's the, okay, in that folder. I wasn't in the downloads. Okay. Why do I have it in here? One assignment. I can't find it. I might put up files, save as. I'll just put it here with the other one. All right, sorry about that. Saving to the wrong place, getting myself confused. All right, so file, export again. So it will go there. And here's all your different options of ways to export out, guys. There's Adobe PDF Interactive, which is really fun. That's when you would get into ebooks and doing some interactive books and things that you can do in InDesign. Fun stuff. And then there's all these other options to export. We're just going to be doing PDFs. And export out. And then it should come down to the file. And here it is, week 1 PDF. And always check. And that's what it looks like. Option 1, option 2. I have the 2 pages. And what I need you to do is once you have your PDF, you need to zip up the file and send it to me. Okay, so right now I have all those resources in there, and you'll come to the folder itself, right click, and this one would be compress on the Mac, and on the PC it's zip, and compress and zip are the same thing. And so there's the zip file, and then you're going to send that to me. Okay, and that's what you're going to put into your submission when you submit. Okay. I just want that zip file. And what's in there will be your InDesign file, and any of the images or of the fonts that you may have used will also be in there as well. And again, come back and double check. We zip the file, and remember that carry out weeks 2 assignment, the rubrics. And we included, be sure to include all images, fonts, and high-res PDF. So that is a high-res PDF that we exported out, and we zipped the package folder. And of course, you got to make sure that you name it right. That's something else you get points for, is making sure you use the right name, and submit that to me. Easy, okay? I am really excited to see what you guys come up with, and hopefully that answers all of your questions on how to submit this week's assignment. Please reach out to me if you have any additional questions. Also, I'm going to be posting on the announcements some places that you can get fonts and some places that you can get images. And there is tons out there. You don't have to use what exactly is in the folder that the client provided. You should, but I have flexibility, and I give you complete creative freedom to do what you think is best for these clients. I'm going to be acting as your client and telling you what I like and don't like, and some of the things that I really don't want to see, guys, is anything pixelated, and staying away from your edges, making sure that everything is legible. Your number one job as graphic designers is to communicate visually and portraying a message through your work. The message here is the restaurant, their tagline, and these elements. So if I can't read something, if something's not legible, then we're not doing our job as designers to be able to visually communicate a message. So I am here if you need me, if you have any questions. Also make sure that you guys go through the course media, because that's going to give you even more detail on how to do these different things in design. So best of luck with your work. I'm really excited to see what you come up with, and happy designing. Have a great one, guys. Thank you.